Hello, Amber here, coming to you live from the wardrobe department of the Australian Ballet. Come with me and let's go meet some of the team. Hello, Musette.
Hi, Amber.
Thank you for chatting to me today. I was wondering if you'd introduce yourself to our audience and talk a little bit about your very important role in the wardrobe team and how long you've worked for the ballet.
Sure. So my name's Musette and I look after the costume department at the Australian Ballet, and I've been with the company for 11 years.
And do you find the process of collaborating with designers on new productions and then bringing their visions to life, but also with the realistic demands of choreography, do you enjoy that working between the dancer and the choreographer?
Yeah, I do. I think that is why I ended up working for a ballet company, and I really felt that with dance and with ballet, it is one of the most technically challenging costume areas to be a part of, because the costumes have to perform so stringently. There are so many requirements for the costume for a ballet, and I love the technical complexity of that goes into it, marrying with trying to create a beautiful design that is interesting to look at, that will last a long time, that will fit lots of dancers. I love the challenge of that. So yeah, I find it really rewarding.
Hello, Isabel. Thanks for chatting to me today.
Hi, Amber.
Could you explain to us a little bit about how the workshop here functions and how all the different departments within this level 4 work together?
Yeah, so we have our costume department and the production area in here. So we liaise also with our costume facilities manager in Altona. So she comes and helps bring all the costumes from the shows that we're working on into the space here, and then it moves on through the costume coordinators who start looking at fabrics, ordering supplies that we need to start remaking or making costumes. Our cutters then produce patterns, and then they are made by our costumiers. And myself have to organise fittings for all the dancers. They usually have 1 to 2 fittings to do the check fits before they get pulled out on stage. And so it's quite fluid and doesn't end up involving a lot of different departments as well.
Yeah, it sounds really like you're crucial to the smooth running of everything, as well as chasing forgetful dancers.
Oh, absolutely. That's all part of it too, isn't it?
Guilty of being chased for costume fittings I've forgotten. Hello, Jenny. How are you?
Good, Amber. How are you?
Thank you for chatting with me today. Would you be able to tell our audience a little bit about yourself and your role here in wardrobe and how long you've worked with the company?
So my name's Jenny. I've been here for 20 years and my role is production coordinator. So a big part of that is working with costume designers when we get a new production to purchase all the fabrics, all the sequins, all the beads for millinery, for jewellery and for the costumes.
Hello, Anna. It's lovely to talk to you today.
Hello, Amber.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role in wardrobe and how long you've worked here for?
Yes, I am Anna. I'm the ladies cutter here, one of 2, and I am in charge of cutting costumes and having fittings and managing a team of very talented costume makers.
That sort of draws me to a question I had about the collaboration process of when you work with the designer and then also with the dancer. Like how much are you involved in that sort of process?
So the designer will come in and first meet with Musette and Jenny, and they'll talk through like the initial designs just to map out what the designer wants and what sort of looks they're going for. And then when the cutters become involved, we really look at the logistics of what they want the costume to look like, but also what the costume needs to do in terms of choreography. And so in our first fittings, that's when we really take on the opinions of the dancers in terms of will it allow them to do what they need to do, because at the end of the day, you know, they need to be able to dance in it.
Hello Ra, thank you for joining me today. Could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role in the wardrobe team and how long you've worked here for?
Yeah, so my name's Ra. I'm a gents cutter here at the Australian Ballet, and I've been working here for about 2 years almost.
Was there something that drew you to the world of costuming?
Gosh, I think I've always just loved the idea of dressing up. I've sort of never lost that childish pleasure in dressing up, and kind of the idea of costumes, creating characters, and you know, really expressing something about a personality, whether that personality is someone or a fictional character on stage, and getting that idea across.
Hello Marsha.
Hi.
Thanks for chatting to me today. Would you like to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your role here in wardrobe?
I'm the gents cutter, so looking after all the men's costumes and making, from the designs we make all the costumes up, and I've been here about 15 years. So I started off as a machinist for about 4 years, and then I graduated up to being a cutter.
And is there, what is a really challenging part of your role? Like what would be the most difficult thing you've had to do with male tailoring costumes? Is it like making multiple casts fit one jacket?
Yes,
or...
that's always a challenge. But we actually make them to be able to be fitting many different sizes so that they can be alterable, basically.
Yes.
So ballet jackets, we have about 5 panels in it so that it can change between cars. That is the hardest one.
Yes.
Because with casting we can get 9 princes, but we only have 4 jackets, so you have to make them all fit them and looking wonderful.
Yes.
So yes, that's definitely it. But we do have a method of the way we construct them. To everything's even for on the when the show's on, that the wardrobe people can change it if they need to in a hurry. So
yes,
we have to think always ahead of how things are made. We can't just overlock them off and
yes, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
Always with that in mind.
Yeah.